Here we are outside Capitol House, where Kennedy Scott and Maximus are situated on the first floor.
Leanne, who is a senior personal development coach. So perhaps you'd like to tell us a little bit about what Kennedy Scott do and what your role is here.
Okay, Kennedy Scott have 4 centres across Kent running on the flexible New Deal contract alongside Job Centre Plus and our prime contractor Maximus UK. Obviously we're here in the centre in Margate, and the idea is basically we receive referrals from the Job Centre and we support people who have been out of work a year or more to move back into employment. We also have our community task force programme running here, which helps younger people to move into community projects and ideally work again. And also the Pathways to Work programme alongside Job Centre and Royal British Legion, and that's specifically designed for people in receipt of sickness benefits and again helping them to move back to work. My role as a senior here is to basically oversee the running of the centre, supervise the staff, and I also advise as a normal advisor.
So in your staff supervision role, you look after the welfare and development of the staff, is that right?
Yeah, on a centre level, obviously I've got my regional manager, but yes, on a centre level it's down to me to make sure everyone's okay on a day-to-day basis, take any responsibility for decisions that could be made at this level, and ensure that obviously the customers are happy and the staff are kept safe and it all runs smoothly.
Smallest detail.
Yes.
How about clients? What sort of clients do you deal with?
Obviously we have a diverse range because of the 3 programmes that we're working on. Obviously you're targeting very different groups of people. On Flexible New Deal we've obviously got a range of people, a range of skills, some people that have been out of work more than a year, some people obviously have been recently made redundant because of the recession, lots of different skills, lots of different sectors of work that people are looking for. With Pathways, we're also dealing with people who have a range of health problems and disabilities, sicknesses, so obviously we need to deal with those effectively as well. And the younger people who perhaps haven't had a lot of work experience and need to obviously get some in-work support to gain the experience to have a long career.
Right. So you have a personal caseload, don't you?
I do, yes.
And how many people would that be that you see each week or fortnight?
I'm currently working with probably about 30-35 people a week. We need to see them ideally every 2 weeks, a little bit like the Job Centre, and that's on Flexible New Deal. And we engage with them, we do reviews with them on a one-to-one basis to support them into work. And we also have computers and things which they can come and access on a voluntary basis.
So how much time would you spend with each client, would you guess?
It's going to depend. The average we would spend for a new inductee coming in, we would spend an hour just going through the health and safety in the programme, explaining it all. For a general review, once they've been their first time, we would spend up to half an hour. And if they need any extra support with things like computers or job search outside of that time, then we would obviously look at another half hour or an hour when they needed it.
Right, okay. So everybody has to come in at least once a fortnight, is that right?
Ideally, yeah. Obviously if they're engaging in other things such as voluntary work or perhaps a course, then we can be a little bit more flexible, but we do try and engage them every 2 weeks because it means that obviously we keep the consistency and the support going.
Yes. And roughly how many new clients would you get each week?
At the moment it can be anything from between kind of 2, 3, 4 small numbers to kind of 20, 30. It really depends on how the referrals are coming through from the Job Centre. So that's a difficult kind of thing to sort of judge. Yes. At the moment roughly I'd say between sort of 10 and 20 a week.
How many applicants do you get for each job then?
Oh, that's a difficult one. It depends. We deal with basically our customers, and we would obviously liaise with the employer where possible. We have lots of incentives as part of the programme that we can offer employers, such as work
employers.
Yes,
right.
But it also works for the customer as well. So we have things like work trials where an employer can trial an applicant for an advertised job for up to 15 days locally. And that gives them the opportunity to see if it's the right person for the job, and it also gives the customer the opportunity to find out if the job's okay for them.
Right. What the main difficulties are for people finding work down here?
I think, as we've said, it's a competition a lot of the time. There are the jobs, obviously, that lots of people are going for, and we need to remember it's not just the unemployed and the people out of work that are looking for jobs. Obviously, the people in work are still looking for jobs, so part of it, I would say, is the jobs. It's also the fact that we're surrounded mostly by sea, so our catchment area, obviously, is quite limited.
And what about qualifications?
Qualifications is part of something we would offer on the programme for a lot of people, particularly if they've been hit by the recession. They may have done a job for a long time, they're trained to do that, but are now finding perhaps they can't find that type of work and they need to retrain. So part of the support we offer is retraining. There are lots of local training providers locally who offer training, often for free if they're on if people are on benefits. And we work closely with them, Thanet College, community education, to get people the training they need to get back into work.
So how many people do you think you find new jobs for each week?
On average at the moment we're finding jobs for, I would say, at least 4 or 5 people. We are relatively new here and we're still building this up, but we are moving people into work, and obviously we're hoping that the people moving into work is going to increase, obviously. Our team is expanding, which is obviously a good thing, and obviously we're going to try and get more people into work as the recession lifts and obviously the economy starts picking up, especially, which is already starting to happen, particularly in the construction industry. It is starting to move again, so our construction workers are going back to work.
So do you find that people need help with their CVs and things like that?
Yes, a lot of people do. Well, they may have a CV that they've had for a long time, and no one's ever really looked at it and given a critical eye over it, because they may have been in work for that time. So it's our responsibility and our part of our support, basically, to ensure that they have an effective CV which sells them and that they're happy with, basically. For some people come in, they have never had a CV, so we start from right at the basics, learning about skills, work-related skills, and we build that up to give them an effective CV as well.
Very nice too. What do you look for most or what do you find most in the clients when they first arrive?
A lot of people come in here are very, not necessarily nervous, but they're not sure what to expect. Obviously they've been with the job centre, they come to a new training provider such as ourselves, and they're not quite sure what's going to be involved. So lots of people may have questions they're not sure of, which is why we're clear on the induction process to go through that with them. Lots of people are enthusiastic about having some new support, some new input, and basically, they can come and use the centre. It opens new doors for them. If they haven't got a computer at home or don't go to the library very often, they can come and use their computers here. So really it's a case most people will embrace it and obviously allow us to help them into work.
And do you find that people who come are committed to doing their job search?
Yes, yeah. I mean, obviously when you've been out of work, particularly over a year, not necessarily getting very far with interviews and things like that for whatever reason, motivation does tend to be at a low for some people when they come here. So the new injection of energy basically from us and the support obviously helps them to continue with their job search, and yes, we find that everyone is committed who comes here and obviously wants to return to work, so that makes our job that little bit easier.
Leanne, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.